Hey, welcome to Cal Stadium for the Aon Under-17 Boys National Championship game. I'm Terry Brunel, with me James Lisserman. The two finalists tonight are the Canterbury team, the Waitaha Canterbury combined team, and the Waikato team. So we've got a good matchup of good athletes, definitely, on these two teams.
Yeah, and you can see the stadium still being sort of prepared, obviously, with the home team here, the Waitaha Canterbury team. There's a whole lot of people here, not quite as much as we've had for our high school finals, but very, very close to it. And yeah, I think just the game, they've delayed the tip-off. There's 6:23 on the game, I think, while they just get everything organised so that the safety sort of thing. So that means you're going to have a little bit of talking from us too beforehand while the teams get ready.
Yeah, plus we've got all the participants, obviously, who've played all their games and have all their results now, and they've all got to fill in the stands as well. So
yes. So I guess while we're having the stadium all sorted and everything moved around with the bleachers moved, so all those people that rushed out actually need to move so that the seats can be moved. But we will have a quick video here, which hopefully by the time we come back, everything should be ready to go for the actual game to tip off. Yes, right.
Putting on the black singlet was a dream come true. I've dreamed about playing for New Zealand since I was a little girl.
Very nervous, but also very proud, you know. It's a huge thing.
Representing all of those at home, all of those that have helped you, getting you to all those early morning trainings, feeding you all that dinner.
You know, we're used to punching above our own weight, so I think we try to incorporate that in practice and just go as hard as we can on the court, and off court it's all love.
On the court, you know, we've always got each other's backs, but if we need to hold each other accountable, we will. And then off the court, same thing. We're still a family, got each other's backs, and obviously it's a bit more fun.
I think basketball was such an appealing sport to me, seeing the pathways to the US. So I remember growing up looking at Zara Gillings and Panina Davidson and seeing what they were doing. So I've always wanted to head over to the States, not only to live the basketball dream, but to get a degree, to see a different side of the world and to learn a different style of play.
It's just good to be out here with the younger kids and give back to the game, because we're here to kind of inspire the youth of New Zealand, and especially all the girls out here. It's great to see you know, them all having fun and just spreading the love of the game. Basketball has given me so much. I mean, it's given me the Torfers. I mean, you know, it's given me friends for life. It's given me a family.
It's the opportunity for me to have received a really great education in America. So now I'm able to get my undergraduate degree and a master's degree.
The opportunity to travel to, you know, Japan, Taiwan, all those places.
Playing the sport I love, still playing with the Torferns.
The opportunities are one of the best part of being, you know, Torfern and being a part of basketball.
I'd love for the younger ones to be like, oh my gosh, I want to be a part of that someday. Obviously there's so many people wanting to play basketball, but if that's something that they're aspiring to be like, that would be awesome too. I think New Zealand's known as such a sporting nation, and the basketball scene is growing so rapidly that I want the Torfens to be something these young kids are aspiring to. So they want to say, I grew up to be an All Black, but I grew up to be a Torfern. And for them right here to come out and practice and say, like, yeah, I love basketball, this is a fun sport, a sport I can be with my friends, a sport where I see a lot of opportunity and a lot of pathways, because at the end of the day, basketball can take you places, and so the Torfens is a great route for that. For me, I'm just super proud every time I step out onto the court, knowing I'm wearing that black singlet, because as a Torfern, you've got a lot of pride, and playing for your country, having your sisters' backs. Definitely proud to wear that singlet every time I step out on the court.
At the moment, we're probably assuming that the tip-off will be delayed by quite a bit at the very least, and the decision about which court to be played on, I can see people coming back because whatever way, I can see BB&Z's now shifting people back over to this side, but whether that's to get seating out or not, or to shift the game back over to this side, but
well,
obviously...
Cal Stadium doesn't normally have a big issue with leaking roofs, so if there is a bit of moisture there, I imagine it's not a huge amount.
Yeah. No, I know that it's...
Might just have to put a towel person down there and have them wipe it regularly.
That's what I do. I know that when it's super, super windy and raining a lot, then it can sort of blow up under the corrugated iron, but it wasn't raining when I came in, although that was a few hours ago. Right, so we've just had our producer tell us it is actually pouring down outside, so obviously the weather's changed a little bit since the last 2 days where it's been almost unbearably hot in here. Still quite humid and warm. But with everyone shifting back, I guess it's because they can't have everyone sitting there, so we'll see where the game is going to be played regardless.
You can see at the right-hand end of the floor, actually, there is a towel sitting on the floor.
Yes.
Don't know if we can get a shot of that. We've got Big Vinny standing in front of it, if that's a clue for the cameraman. So, yeah, there is actually a drip in that area.
Anyway, it's going to be a while, so we've got 16 minutes on the clock.
There we go.
There we go.
So they found Big Vinny. There he is.
So this is court 1 here that you can see at home, and that is the rough location of the water coming down. And obviously a health and safety thing. And we're having seats pulled out all across the floor. Obviously not the ideal thing if you're a council worker here, if you're Aiden or junior. Trying to shift them with a pretty full stadium here is not the plan that you want to have in place.
It's going to create some difficulties for us to call the game if they do whack those grandstands up in front of us. That's going to be problematic.
Yeah, I think talking with them, they were talking about trying to encourage as many people to sit in this grandstand as possible where we are, and then having seats sort of on the wall so people can still sit there rather than having them right in front of us. So, I don't know, I guess for us it's going to be a little bit further away than normal, but also still, well, we're lucky we've got the screen as well, so we can see a bit sooner. We may become very popular with people sitting around and behind us.
We've got the zoom in capability.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to an NBA game in Indiana, and this would still be a pretty high-priced ticket. Well, Indiana, like, relatively speaking.
Just, rained off games. It doesn't happen that often, does it really?
No, it's...
I do recall on a tour to Argentina with the Canterbury Invitational team where we actually swapped gymnasiums halfway through the game.
That's right. That was the tour before I went.
Yeah, so that was entertaining. Played the second half in another gym. That's the first time that ever happened in my coaching career.
Well, it'll be a bit tough for us to transplant this game to another gym, given the number of people here to actually have everything set up, and obviously the live streaming takes quite a bit of stuff to organise as well. You see Nigel Lurwood there, part of the stats crew tonight, taking the bench over, so they're definitely getting prepared to shift over to the other court.
So we can see on the left-hand side, one grandstand is set up ready to go. They could probably pull one around on a bit of an angle and we'd still be able to see the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. We were right in the middle. People on the sides maybe won't be so happy with that.
But I imagine they're going to do the same thing on the other side, which is something different. Hey, 2020.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think?
It's the year of adaptability, isn't it? So there's just less than 5 minutes to go on the court. You know, but obviously they're going to wait until the stats crew set up. There's no danger in terms of having to shift seats in front of people and moving stuff over. And I can just see a chair getting dragged across the floor, which is probably not the way you're meant to shift that.
Everyone, if you could just listen.
And here's public address announcer.
So we can set up the bleachers across court wall.
So getting back to the two teams, might be a good time for us to go through the team lists here with about 4 minutes to go. So we can bring that up on the screen. We'll have a look at who's in the two national finalists.
And I think it's going to be when they do come up, I think it's going to be sort of a battle between depth and, I guess, size and athleticism, I think would be the sort of the key ways to point to this.
Yeah, so watching the two teams play in their semis, Waikato, they really only play 6 to 7 guys. And it's almost the opposite for the Waitaha team. You could expect to see everybody come off the bench at some stage.
Yeah, so you can see the two teams warming up and a lot of people just organising, trying to decide where to put seats so that obviously we don't suddenly get a rush of people going from the stands to try and find somewhere to sit or stand by being blocked out by other ones. So I've got a feeling though, if you're sitting in the front rows of these grandstands, yeah, you're going to be pretty unhappy if people do start standing along the sidelines.
That's right, yeah. So that can't happen, or we won't be able to call the game for you either. Or we'll be talking about Big Vinny all night.
And I'm willing to bet money that the drip's going to stop as soon as they're about ready to tip off. What do you think?
We've got Pete Van Hassel down there in the New Zealand basketball hoodie, telling us that it's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, you can just see a whole bunch of people hopping off some seats down to the left there, I guess, as they try and adjust where those seats are as well.
By the time they get done here, it's going to be an NBL setup without the backboards, huh? Referees for tonight's game, James, you had a lowdown on that?
Yeah, so the three referees, you can see them with their backs to us. In the middle there's Regan Ashley from Timaru. He regularly does some games up here in Canterbury, a very, very good young referee. Amy Jo Clark, she's from Wellington or Capital Region. And then Sasha Nicholson, so Amy Jo Clark is on the left and Sasha Nicholson's on the right. For us, at least. She's Hawke's Bay currently, but was an employee here at Canterbury Basketball about a year and a half ago, and before that, Otago Basketball. So has been working her way up the North Island, well, up the country, I guess, involved in basketball. So three very good referees here and what we expect to be a very, very good final.
Yeah, to get here, the path, Waikato had a pretty one-sided win. Who did they play in the semi?
They played... It was Waitakere West they
That's
played.
Right, yeah, so that was pretty well one-way traffic.
It was, but interesting thing, they played each other in last year and that was Waitakere West beat them by one. Right. So Waikato was super motivated to sort of get revenge there and obviously did that and then some in the game.
Canterbury had to work really hard to beat an Auckland team who just would not go away and kept coming back.
So we're just checking with the Basketball New Zealand staff here to hear what... So one of the issues we are going to have with Court 2 playing is that we won't be able to have the updated score and time on screen, as obviously with the change in court that affects the software that we have doing that directly to everyone. So we'll try and keep you updated with the score as often as we possibly can. Obviously the score will be pretty important for us. And I hope you can see it a little bit easier than I can from my angle.
I can just see the game clock on the far court. Yeah.
So we'll do our best to keep everyone...
I can see that there's 22 seconds to go before tip-off. So we have a chance to maybe bring up the two teams and...
yeah, it certainly seems like the game's about to start.
The players.
So we'll try and get that team list up now for everyone. And the Waitaha Canterbury team, here we go.
There's the Waikato team. You want to go through those?
So the
ones,
Waikato
James?
team, actually they're all, I'll read them in order and give you their numbers. Caleb Armstrong, number 12. Junior DeYoung, number 14. Daniel Dobson, 9. Keslow Evans Jr. is number 5. Tyrell Hickey, number 7. Akiva McBurney Griffin, number 4. Rico Nelson, number 6. Jericho Nonoa, number 15. Ezra Smiler, number 10. Oliver White, 11, and Tatuhi Lewis, number 13, and number 20, Casey Nwafor. They're coached by Keslow Evans, assisted by Ruben Waihi, and the manager is Renee Evans for the game.
Now we just have a look at the Canterbury list. Number 4 is Mason Murphy, number 6, Tane Lavery, number 7, Jackson Rhodes, number 8, Josh Book, 10 is Kurt Mipana, As you see, Josh Book score straight away. 11, Hunter Adam, 12, Griffin Westwood, 13, Benji Freeman, and 15, Walter Brown. They're coached by Liam Connolly.
Yeah, assisted Adam Morgan, and Jill Pringle is the manager for the games. Here's Keslow Evans, kick out for an opportunity for 3 and a drive from Smiler, but he misses. And ball goes out of bounds. Canterbury a chance to double up. They're up 2-0 very early in the game here.
Couple of very quick guards here for Waikato. They play just about all of the game. Keslow Evans and Ezra Smiler. It's Walter Brown. Josh Book finds Walter Brown wide open for a 3 ball. He lets it fly, and it goes. Walter Brown opens his account with a 3. Tane Lavery is quick enough to stay with Keslow Evans. Probably one of the few players in this tournament that can.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, I've seen both of them play. Keslow Evans very, very similar in terms of his ability with the ball. And obviously means an awful lot to the team. Tane Lavery, quite lucky that him and Josh Book, they can sort of share the point guard duties. As you see there, Book, nice dish up top to Hunter Adam. High school teammates there showing that connection.
So, early lead. 7 plays, 0 at the moment for Waitaha. Keslow Evans gets to the rim, and the roll for Keslow Evans. He'll be on the line, shoot the bonus. Catch the foul there, James.
It's a little bit too far for me to see. I will update everyone on that once it comes through on the live stats.
If there is a replay available, we might be able to see who committed that foul. But Keslow Evans on the line adds the bonus.
You know, that was probably the one weakness of his game in the semi-final. There, he shot, I think it was 6 of 10 from the free throw line, where everything else, 30
Lavery,
points.
Little floater, couldn't get it.
Nice Ryan Pringle there.
Good tidy up from Pringle.
Yeah, so one of the tough things that Canterbury is going to have is they've got 2 giants that they have to try and score around. Akiva McBurney Griffin and Nwafo, Casey Nwafo. They're both so big. If they draw one of them, the other one's still going to be there to protect the rim.
See, Nwafo, he gets after every rebound. You really have to box him out. He's got all the athleticism in the world. Book finds Walter Brown, loads up a 3 on the other side. This one rims out.
And I was going to say it was a good sign with Walter Brown hitting that first 3, as the Canterbury team is capable of shooting very, very well from behind the arc, but haven't really had a game where they've been absolutely on fire. So they'll be hoping that this is going to be the one there.
Bernie Griffin misses that one. Book finds Brown. Brown has it blocked from behind, but that'll be a foul. It'll be on Smiler. First foul on him, and will put Brown to the line. Walter Brown has very long arms and is deceptively bouncy.
Yeah, so you can just see the score there for everyone at home. 7:35 left in the first quarter, and score is 3-9. So Waikato on 3. Canterbury out of the gate very quickly early, 9 points.
So Brown has the first one just rim out. Foul shooting could be critical. We're expecting a very close game here. Brown gets the second one to drop.
And it'll be interesting just to see how the crowd sort of disperse themselves, if they're in different groups of supporters throughout the stadium.
A little bit of a hard show from Hunter Adam there. He gets back to McBurney Griffin. Baseline spin move, kick out pass, Smiler in the corner. Couldn't get it, and there he is. Nwafo gets the tip, he keeps it alive. You really...
Yeah, no, you've...
The #1 scouting report is, if he's in your area, you've got to get into his legs.
Yeah, no, I think Hunter Adam there, you know, thought I can probably battle for this, because he usually can against most people, but Nwafo right underneath the basket, and you saw there 2 offensive rebounds in a row and a foul to go along with the bucket there. So, yeah, obviously...
Well, yeah, I mean, Hunter Adam can get to maybe the 13th floor, but Nwafo looks like he can go to the 15th.
He's probably already starting on the 10th or 11th, isn't he? Here's a steal, straight back. Nwafo.
Nice reverse layup there from Nwafo. Having an impact straight away. 10 plays 7. Inside, Hunter Adam, kick out pass, Book, long range triple. Nothing but twine.
Well, I can see there are some supporters down there on the bench next to... That's the Waikato side there who were clapping for that. So at least there is some Waitaha support on that side of the stadium.
But Bernie Griffin with the lob. Nafor couldn't get it to go, but he's been fouled. I think that foul will go.
Looks like 14 is
the Pringle, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Waitakere West really had trouble with, is trying to keep Nafor and McBurney Griffin off those sort of baseline cuts. They really struggled getting deep enough. And Waitaha Canterbury obviously aware of that as they were getting into their legs, but too late. You know, if the guy's jumping for the ball then on an alley-oop, you're probably going to be rightfully called for a foul, which is exactly what happened there.
So the second effort. 2 for 2 for Nafor. Doing a nice job so far. And pretty accurate to the scouting report. And he's scoring in that manner.
Yes. The score's 13-9, Waitaha Canterbury up 4 points here. Here's a high ball screen for Josh Book.
Yeah, pull up for Book. Couldn't get that one. Nafor with the rebound. Caslow Evans. They move it on to Smiler. Back to McBurney Griffin. Comes back to Evans. Good structured, organised attack here from Waikato. Baseline. Nafor having his way on the baseline.
Yeah, so the lead, it was pretty much Canterbury traffic one way to begin with, but now we have a 2-point game. Waikato up to 11, Canterbury 13. Here we go. We've got the score up here. We'll do our best to try and match that as well. There's a turnover. Canterbury.
Evans all the way to the basket. He had Book draped all over him, still managed to finish it.
And I guess here's a positive of being here. We can clearly see which team has called the timeout. So it is Waitaha Canterbury for the first time out of the game. Score is 12 Waikato. Waitaha Canterbury is on 13, 5:51. So it looks like we have been able to have the camera software switched over. We'll see if that stays up the whole way through, but if not, we'll sort of keep you up to date with the scores as they happen as well. So we've just heard that things should go pretty well, except maybe potentially during the last minute of each quarter, and obviously timeouts and things like that. You can see it's just switched there. So I say it's probably where the camera is stationed that's looking at the scoreboard, and there's probably pretty much a bit of backboard and stuff that you have to go through there as well. So there's actually 5:51 remaining in the first quarter here.
So if you've just joined us, Waitaha came out of the blocks firing, scored the first 7 points, and Waikato have slowly worked themselves back into the game on the back of Nafor, who's an absolute beast on the boards at the moment.
And there was actually a score correction, so it's actually 13 apiece. I thought that.
Yeah, I thought it was 13-11, and the two there would have tied the ball game up.
Yeah, so Caslow Evans, he's up to 5 points already in the game, but it's KC Nafor, 8 points and 5 rebounds in less than 5 minutes of action. So, yeah, no surprise for what he's very, very good at doing, and he's actually one of their lone players from Rotorua, so not a bad choice to pick him up.
Lavery with a wraparound pass as he drew Nafor and kicked it off to Pringle. Nice finish from Pringle all alone there in the corner.
And it's good to see Pringle getting involved. He's sort of the guy that will do all the dirty work. You know, he'd be just as happy if he scored 2 points or 20 points. He's going to do whatever's needed. So it's nice to see him, you know, still being looked for by his teammates and in a position where he can score.
Nafor again gets a feed from Smiler, finishes at the rim.
So 10 points now for the big man from Rotorua. Here's Lavery, drives past Smiler, and he gets smashed out of there by Nafor.
Talk about the 15th floor. He was well and truly up there. And Book on the spin, step back, finds Walter Brown, hit one already, hits another one.
So this is sort of what we expected, is Canterbury going to be able to score inside against this gigantic front line for Waikato.
Well, Waitakere weren't able to.
No, they weren't.
They weren't able to hit the threes either, so if Waitaha can hit the threes, great rebound here from Anta Adam as he leads the break. The two big guys leading the break for the Waitaha team. He gets it off to Pringle. Kick out past Tane. Lavery loads up a three. That doesn't go. Pringle tidies it up. So no box out this time from Waikato.
Now that's one of the ways they can be exploited. So they often quite send McBurney Griffin and Nafor to the rim, which means for offensive rebounds, which means they get back late. And the team's not great at working out, you know, who are the biggest threats in the team to pick up and where are they. So
deflection there from Lavery. Book ends up with it. He finds Hunter Adam, who's pushed along the baseline. You catch the foul, or do you think that might have been Caslow?
I think it was 5. We'll see if we can get a replay up of that. No, it looks like it was called on 12.
Junior DeYoung goes out. Replacement player is Daniel Dobson into the game for the first time.
Yeah, so that'll be their
Ryan Pringle out, and the X Factor. The X Factor comes in. Benji Freeman. Which Benji are we going to get today?
Hopefully it's the one that makes a bunch of threes and takes good shots. And,
not that you're biased.
Well, I'd like to see an exciting game. And, at the moment it says the score's 21-5 as we're trying to get that corrected. But 21-15 you can see on the clock, on the scoreboard there in the background.
The 3:58's pretty close because it's 3:56, but disregard the 35 seconds.
There's Evans Jr. here, dribble handoff action.
Burnley Griffin hasn't really had a say in this game yet.
No, he sort of tends to...
Oh my goodness, Hunter Adam fell down, and that was a good enough excuse for what would you call that, a reverse
dunk,
dunk?
A sort of controlled dunk, and a chance to stare down at the guy that was trying to guard you, laying on the ground underneath you. So
on ball
if I could do that, I'd consider as well.
Book left a little bit early, didn't wait for the screen. Lavery tries to do the same thing from a lower story.
Yeah, I thought he looked like he was expecting the foul there from Smiler. He decided, well, actually I can get all the way to the rim, and we have a foul here. 12, 11, 13, something like that.
I think it's Benji Freeman.
13. And so Kurt Mapanya, number 10, has just come into the game.
Good little quick guard, get to the hoop. Kind of a somewhat reluctant three-point shooter, but he can make them, given enough opportunity. Well, can he stay in front of Caslow Evans, though?
There's not many people that can, as you see. Evans there, just so controlled, waits for the defence to commit, and then with those two big guys, you can just throw it up near the rim, and if they're open, they're going to get it and finish it for you.
Huge size advantage at the moment here for Waikato. There's a foul there on Caslow Evans. I think that'll be his second, actually.
So looking at the live stats, he had one already, and that one was definitely number 5.
Now, they can't really afford him to go out because he plays most of the game and orchestrates most of the game, so I can't imagine there's too many other guys on the bench that have that job when they don't get to do it much.
Yeah, no, there's these 5 guys plus the one that's subbed off who was starting. This is who Caslow Evans the coach Caslow Evans, the senior, wants to play the majority of the game. As Benji Freeman launches a 3, and that's a good sign for Canterbury.
That's the Benji that they want to see. The bomber, Benji the bomber.
So we go, Evans, he's got the high ball screen.
Mapanya trying to get him back in front of Caslow Evans. He just can't afford to let him go that way.
It was a pretty good vertical challenge by Canterbury, but on the flip side, if you're going up against Nwafo or McBurney Griffin, you're probably used to those floaters over much, much bigger wingspans.
Brown with the in and out. Freeman with the tidy up on the reverse. 26-21. We got the scoreboard sorted out here by the look of it. 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes to play. Evans operating again, looks for Nafor, who's inside and gets another power move.
And I think it's going to be something if I was coaching, I consider trying to cut off that baseline when he catches the ball so low and force him back to the middle. I think he's quite left-handed or right. He's much prefers going one way than the others. You see Josh Book swoop in, can't make that finish, and here's something you have to watch out for.
2-on-1, and they somewhat butchered it. Nafor goes in, Benji Freeman takes the charge. That might be one way to stop him.
Yeah, well, so we'll have a quick look at the replay there.
Benji Freeman, we're just looking really to see where his heels ended up.
So here's the breakdown. You'll see Nwafo coming in, gets outside the circle easily.
And truly, yep.
If Nwafo had just jumped straight away as soon as he caught it, it probably would have been a blocking foul then, but because he took that extra step, still on the ground, and that meant a good, easy call for the referee's book. Launches a pull-up jumper. Walter Brown
tried to save it behind the back, bouncy pass. Evans, Mapanya on him, has a little dig, just keeping him occupied. Oh, and it's a strip. Mapanya gets a steal and finishes at the rim. Kurt Mapanya, a little bit of a win over Caslow Evans.
Yes,
we'll watch that unfold as that goes on.
So the clock is just under a minute, about 46 seconds here in the quarter.
McBurney Griffin powers his way to the basket. Walter Brown doing his best to stay in front. A little bit too big. McBurney Griffin obviously had a little run in the showdown, in the NBL showdown with the Otago Nuggets.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you told me, hey, he's actually eligible to play under 17s then, I probably would not have believed it. But here he is, you know, he's does not look like someone who should still be in high school just looking at his body, but
just yeah, NBL body.
He is ready, so you can definitely see why he was drafted.
Myler, little double crossover, head to the baseline, pop back layup, nice finish. Cuts it to one. Book, long range with 3 on the clock, and that'll end the quarter right there with Waitaha 28 plays Waikato 27 in our long range broadcast.
That's the first quarter in the
So James, you pretty much running the way predicted at the moment. We've got a couple of key scorers obviously for Waikato.
Yeah, so Casey Nwafor, he's up to 14.7 rebounds, which, you know, if he carries on like that, I don't think Canterbury's going to be able to stay in the game because, you know, his shots are such a high percentage, 6 of 7 from the field. And then Keslow Evans has 7 points as well. And then for Canterbury, it's a little bit more balanced there. We've got Walter Brown has 7 points, Ryan Pringle has 6, Josh Book has 5. So spreading it out a bit more. One of the changes Waikato that have done from a tactical standpoint, from what I've seen from them in 2 or 3 games so far, is they've been playing primarily man-to-man defence here, whereas the other games I've seen have been about 90 to 95% zone. So just wondering if they're, you know, scared of, or just want to pay more attention to the shooters in Waitaha, Canterbury, and being able to box people out as well.
And maybe just holding off, just know that they would have been scouted in the zone department and deciding just play a bit of man-to-man, and they'll shift back into it when they get themselves into the game. But Walter Brown pretty much put some doubt in their minds by hitting those first couple of threes. And
well, Canterbury as a team, 4 of 7 from the 3-point line. So that's if you're a Canterbury fan or a South Island fan, that's sort of the rate of shooting that you think they're going to have to be at pretty much the whole game to be competitive. And then for Waikato, it's just making sure they don't give up those easy shots, control the boards.
Waitaha are also obviously have decided not to take it right at the rim, and Josh Book in particular looking for little elbow pull-ups.
Yep.
And a variety of little floater type moves to try and draw those big guys out, so later on they might be able to get to the basket, because Nwafor is certainly going to try and block every shot available.
You know, I mean, it is just very hard with 2 of them that are so good defending the rim that, you know, you beat one and think, oh, sweet, I've got a free rein to the hoop, and then find actually there's a second one here waiting for me. So you have to be very, very aware of where all the defenders are there. Anyway, this is the boys' grand final in the Aon National Under-17 Grand Tournament. Top 2 teams here, Waikato playing against Waitaha Canterbury. Waikato's in black, Waitaha Canterbury is in red. And it's a 1-point lead. I believe this is probably a mouth guard check, or maybe bleeding. Went so quickly, I imagine it's a mouth guard.
Yep, looks like it. Getting cleaned up now. Keslow Evans giving it the old singlet wash. So, Tane Lavery back in on Evans.
Now they'll look at McBurney Griffin.
Trying to deal with McBurney Griffin, who goes to the jump hook and leaves it on the front of the rim. And the ball's gone out of bounds, and it will still be Waikato ball. It'll be a 14-second shot clock.
So you can see there that time Pringle was actually forcing them baseline, but knew that Benji Freeman was right there. So McBurney Griffin took the bait, started spinning to the baseline, but then realised there was a defender there and had to come back and take his sort of second or third option shot. Obviously an offensive rebound means it's not that all bad for Waikato though.
Evans gets around, everyone gets to the basket. Nwafor will be fouled there on the tip-in, but didn't go in the end, but he'll find himself at the line again.
And I believe it might be 13, which will be Benji Freeman. I'll keep an eye on that when it comes through on the live stats, which is, they're recording those from right next to the score bench, so hopefully should be able to have them. Hopefully we can trust the accuracy of them. Obviously,
Nwafor again, good from the line.
And he did not shoot very well in the semi-final from the line, so that's...
He's obviously spent the afternoon fixing it.
It looks pretty good as his actual form. Every so often his hand will go one side or the other, which is when it'll point left or right. But the the mechanics look...
He's come to play. Jackson Rhodes into the game for Waitaha. Benji Freeman wide open. Can't let him have that. He will definitely take that 9 days of the week.
Yeah, we'll have a look. So obviously Waikato went in a zone for about the first time this game there, and you know that's what you hate as a coach, give up an open three. So we'll see if they stick with it for a long time or if Canterbury's shooting pulls off.
Smiler answers, he's answered the question there.
Well, you can see he was always heading back. He was heading back towards halfway before that had even gone in, so felt good as soon as that left his hand, and that gives Waikato a 1 point lead.
First lead of the game for Waikato. Lavery splits everyone, goes over the top of Nāwhā, which is tough to do. Takes the lead back for Waitaha.
And their chance possibly could have got an offensive foul against Nāwhā. McBurney Griffin gets all the way to the rim, and just, if you clear out all the defenders there, because they're trying to just stay in front without fouling and end up going out of court, you may as well just shoot it up softly and get the offensive tip in yourself.
Kick out pass. Mapana decides not to shoot that. Finds Rhodes. Rhodes with a bounce pass. Bounce it off Dobson's foot. Subs coming in. Josh Book back in for Kurt Mapana for Waitaha.
So one of the things which is pretty impressive with Waikato, when they play the zone, they really have a good understanding of what sort of passes the offense is going to try to make, and do a really good job of sort of moving to those spots even before the offensive players looking at the pass.
Lavery lost it out of bounds. A hint of a push.
Well,
but they got away with it.
I don't think you want to have some soft fouls called here in the final. You got to make sure the lane's definitely open before you get in there. Anyway, here's
Evans again. This time throws it up, but if he had it to do over, he probably would have laid it up.
Yeah, I think the main thing you're going to have to do is not just make sure you don't let Nāwhā get to the rim without any impedance there, and then McBurney Griffin, when they start looking for him as well, you've got to make it hard. Just throw up that timing there, so if the lob pass does come, it's not going to be an easy finish for them.
Lavery trying to go over McBurney Griffin. Left it long. Evans comes to his left. Kick back. McBurney Griffin will take that. Seen him make that shot plenty of times before. Certainly something in his toolbox. Book finds Benji Freeman, this time a little short.
Yeah, look, just a little bit rushed there on the shot, made it flatter than it needed to be. I think he had enough time that he could have, really lined that up and shot it. If the defence came to him, then he had an easy pass down to the corner.
McBurney Griffin, no place to go, but he finds Smiler, who's still red hot on the same spot.
Same thing, he was leaving before it even went through the net, so yeah, pretty good judge of if his shot's going in or not. Lavery
finds Freeman inside, this time spinning, uses his body but rolls off the rim, and he'll be called for a foul. That'll be his second.
Well, it may even be third if he had that previous one called on him.
Yeah, it might actually earn him a trip to the bench, which it does. Hunter Adam comes back in, Walter Brown comes back in.
As you know, it will only be his second, so it was Ryan Pringle that fell earlier that I thought was on 13, so Ryan Pringle has 2 fouls.
Jackson Rhodes has gone out as well. Hey, Waikato have made 1 sub so far.
Yeah, no, we've pretty much seen the 6 players that are going to be playing the bulk of the minutes.
As Evans misses an absolute gimme. Lavery, slow down, hesitation. Good defence from Dobson here. Lavery tried a behind the back pass to nobody. Book under a little bit of shot clock pressure.
Yeah, still 10 there. Finds Walter Brown inside.
He's crafty along the baseline, Walter Brown. He's a bit of a gadget man down there.
Yes.
He rolls out an arm that looks longer than it is, and
well, I think one of the things Canterbury can really do is push the ball in transition. You know Waikato doesn't want to go deep into their bench, so you can actually make them tired the more the game goes on. As that was just almost a steal for the taking there by Evans Jr.
The old run away and come back very quickly. Good little savvy guard play. Skip pass to Hunter Adam. Moves it on to Lavery. He's calling for a baseline ball screen. Rejects that. Little pull-up from Lavery. Can't get that to roll. Nice box out coming from...
is it Smiler, I think? No, it was Dobson, number 9. Yeah, just no chance whatsoever there for Canterbury. And you can see the double team from the baseline side there.
Spin move from Dobson, left it short, trying to save it, out of bounds.
So a timeout, first one of the game taken here by Waikato. Well, actually, I believe it's Waikato. The light says Waikato. The referees may have signalled that it was Canterbury. So
they've built themselves a nice little 4-point lead here, Waikato. Probably on the back of a few Waitaha misses. They've had a couple of gimmies that haven't gone down, and then they've managed to turn that into production.
Yeah, well, the shooting percentage for
Smiler's doing pretty well. What's he shooting at the moment, James?
For Smiler, he's up to, well, actually we'll go with Nwafo, who's almost at 20 points. He's got his double-double, 18 points and 10 rebounds already, 7 of 8 from the field. And it was Smiler you asked about. He's up to 8 points now. And Keslow Evans Jr. has 7 points. And Akiva McBurney Griffin has 6. So 4 of their starting 5 all scoring pretty well so far. And they're now shooting 55% from the floor, 16 of 29. Canterbury's cooled off a little bit. They're down to 46%, 14 of 30 from the field. But it's the 3-point shooting, 5 of 9 from their 55%. That's what's basically keeping them in touch at this point in the game. And obviously, two teams sort of feeling each other out. This quarter, though, is going Waikato's way as they've outscored Canterbury 12-7 so far.
Well, I think the difference was that they were answering the threes, which they weren't doing early on. It was just kind of reliant upon the interior scoring. But Smiler chiming in with those two is certainly going to loosen things up. And guys like him and Keslow Evans will be able to get into the lane. They don't quite have the shot blocking that Waikato have as Hunter Adam misses a gimme. So a few little easy ones, not dropping for Waitaha at the moment, lacking a little bit of momentum.
And that's one of the things where you just, you know, even if the defenders aren't there, you're just so cognizant of the fact that they're so much bigger than you. You think they may be there, and that ends up making you miss some shots that you'd normally make.
Good box out by Book, who then found Adam on the break, who does a nice job of using the rim, and then that could have gone either way, that as well, with Tane Lavery getting involved there with the runaway comeback move.
Yes. So anyway, 2-point game here. And Canterbury just shows some pressure and then will retreat into the half court. Looks like they may be setting up in a zone here.
Does look a little bit like a 2-3 potentially.
I'd probably go a 2-3 against this team.
Book has 2 guys on the baseline that he's trying to take care of, and he manages to do that. He finds Lavery, who's slow down, speed up. Got Dobson in front of him. They skip it to Book. Book puts it on the floor. Easily goes past Evans. Tip in here from Hunter Adam.
That tip-in was pretty impressive, like right above the rim. We'll see if we can get a replay of that later on. And just controlled that as it was coming off the rim.
Smiler again loads up a 3. This one was wide.
He didn't run away quite as quickly.
Brown's running, but Lavery doesn't need him. Gets all the way and it rolls out. Some of these drop in for Waitaha, and they'll be back in front.
So there's what we sort of expected to see is Canterbury starting to push the ball. You know, obviously getting to the rim and drawing a foul is pretty ideal there, but, you know, you're either going to put Waikato in compromising defensive positions, draw some fouls, or make them tired, and then, you know, you hope that that's where it pays dividends later on down the end of the game.
Well, it's the speed of Lavery and the craftiness of Book, because Book can change speeds, cross people over and get into gaps, and
I almost feel like Keslow Evans Jr. takes bits of both of Lavery and Book's game. Like when he's coming off the ball screen, he reminds me of Book, the sort of controlled dribble just to see what the defense is doing and make the right decision. But then the ability to speed up, change direction with the ball is very similar to Lavery as well. So fantastic. Well, and Smiler as well, some fantastic guards on display here, and then fantastic big guys as well. So it's
got everything this final. And the lead's changed yet again, so Waitaha back in front. 41 plays 39. 4:09, that's accurate on the clock.
Yeah, I think, 4 minutes and 9 seconds. And as you said, Canterbury's moved into the lead by 2 points there. And what have they got? They've got 5 people that have scored 5 points or more, which is sort of what we expected with the balance. Josh Book with 5, Hunter Adams 7, Ryan Pringle 6, Walter Brown has 9, and Benji Freeman has 8 points. Well, for Waikato, they've got 4 players above 9, but they've only got 4 players that have scored. Akiva McBurney-Griffin has 6 points so far. Keslow Evans Jr. 7 points, also has 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Ezra Smiler has 8 points. Remember, he hit those 2 threes, but he is 2 of 4 now. And Casey Nwafo has been the story of the game so far. 18 points, 7 of 9 from the field, and has 10 rebounds, 5 offensive, 5 defensive so far in the game.
And we've called him off just a little bit, I think, because he was going at a 50-point rate. So whatever Waitaha have done is to slow him down a little bit, getting the body on him perhaps.
And so this does look like a 3-2 is the last time. So I think just trying to change up their defence every so often to put some doubt in the Waikato team's mind.
Shot goes up and immediately Book boxes out Nwafo, but it's a nice shot from Evans.
Yeah, so they forced them into a same side shot there. Pretty good defence from Waikato, but great result for pretty good defence for Canterbury. Great result for Waikato as Hunter Adam can't finish there.
You'd have to say that it's that slight intimidation factor that's causing these Waitaha guys to have the yips a little bit on the finishing.
And that's not who you want to leave open for Waikato. Very lucky that De Jong missed that wide open 3 there. Probably their best catch and shoot player in the team.
Adams all the way around Nwafo, who looked like, for an athletic player, he looked like his feet were glued to the floor.
Well, the interesting thing about that is he drove to the left, so McBurney-Griffin was on the right, the left side of Nwafo. So if he could beat Nwafo, there was no real help at the rim because he had McBurney-Griffin on the other side there. Hence, Hunter Adam able to get the whole way to the rim and easily score. Nwafo inside, misses the shot, gets his own rebound, clears out some space with the offhand and scores 2 points. He's up to 20 points now already.
Another lead change, and here we go. Lavery loads up a 3, that doesn't go down, but Adam with a floater, that doesn't go down.
And I think that's the intimidation.
Yeah,
there.
it's not something he would normally shoot.
Great catch in traffic.
It's a good piece of defence by Pringle there.
Yeah, 2:24 to go in the half here. Here's Lavery, fakes it, makes the pass out to Walter Brown. They've got the kick out to Hunter Adam. You see great aggressive defence there.
De Jong did a nice job there.
So 5 on the shot clock here. It's going to have to go up
pressure here for Book. He likes shot clock pressure, but he has it blocked partially by Evans. Great piece of defence by Evans. So Waikato really stepping up the D right now.
Yeah, they did a great job just to keep it locked on that one side of the floor. Had all their rotations already preset.
Inside to Bernie Griffin, who has been fouled, I think, by Walter Brown.
No, I think it's probably going to be Pringle.
Yes, he might have
knocking away, because it looked like Walter Brown took the brunt of that secondary action there. And yeah, you can see Pringle going out. So
Benji the Bomber back into the game. That's my new name for him, by the way.
Right. So substitution has just come in. So it's actually number 11, Oliver White, you can see there for Waikato, his first action of the game.
Evans loads up a 3. That one's good.
That's not bad. You come into the game and you get credited with an assist straight away. So
you've got to throw it to the right guys.
Yes. Hey, I can do that too. I'm aware of who can shoot it. Who sets good
kick
screens.
out to Brown, who's hit 2 already. That one's in and out.
Yeah, at the moment it just looks like the momentum's shifting slightly in Waikato's favour.
Just working it down. A nice steal from Benji. Freeman on the break.
We'll see if he challenges him.
Kick out pass here to Book, who's wide open on the perimeter. Nothing but net. Lavery found him.
Yeah, I almost thought they overpassed that a little bit. Should have taken the easy finish inside from Freeman. As you can see, McBurney-Griffin was happy just to let him shoot it. Wasn't really going to try and block it or make it hard.
Corner 3, Nwafo all over it, loses it out of bounds, but it's been knocked away by Freeman, I think.
I don't mind this call there. I think nobody blocked him out whatsoever. So if only one player had done it, then it would have been an easy defensive rebound. It's part of the issue if you're playing zone. You've got to really communicate, know who's getting who.
Little cross action here where they kick it out. Looking for another assist. That's another assist.
And it's definitely knowing.
Hitting that one.
Now, I said it before, he's probably their best catch and shoot shooter. That's exactly what they did. Ran him from one side to the other, catch, shoot, bucket, 3 points.
Block shot there from Nafor. Oh, not quite enough wrinkles coming from Lavery trying to get it by.
So we've
Handy
just got,
little 4-point lead.
so the clock's just off, but there is 16, 15 seconds now, about a 2-second differential with the shot and game clock. So Waikato can pretty much hold for the final possession. 7 now on the shot clock.
Back to Evans, puts it on the floor, dishes off Nafor, looking for the dunk.
And
3 seconds in the
call.
lane, so 2.6 to go in the second quarter here.
This is a fitting final game to wrap up a pretty good week here at the Aon Under-17 Nationals.
They hit Freeman. This could go down.
And it just about does. He's very, very capable of shooting from that far out.
Most of us are launching something that looks a bit like a baseball pass.
Yes.
He can actually shoot it that far.
So anyway, half-time score, Waikato in black is up on 50 points. Waitaha, Canterbury, 46 points here. We've got a 5-minute break, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes to talk you through the second half of action. That music's a little bit loud.
Putting on the black singlet was a dream come true. I've dreamt about playing for New Zealand since I was a little girl.
Very nervous, but also very proud, you know. It's a huge thing.
Representing all of those at home, all of those that have helped you, getting you to all those early morning trainings, feeding you all that dinner.
You know, we're used to punching above our own weight, so I think we try to incorporate that in practice and just go as hard as we can on the court and off court. It's all love.
On the court, you know, we've always got each other's backs, but if we need to hold each other accountable, we will. And then off the court, same thing. We're still a family, got each other's backs, and obviously it's a bit more fun.
I think basketball was such an appealing sport to me, seeing the pathways to the US. So I remember growing up looking at Zara Gillings and Penina Davidson and seeing what they were doing. So I've always wanted to head over to the States, not only to live the basketball dream, but to get a degree, to see a different side of the world and to learn a different style of play.
It's just good to be out here with the younger kids and give back to the game, because we're here to kind of inspire the youth of New Zealand, and especially all the girls out here. It's great to see you know, them all having fun and just spreading the love of the game. Basketball has given me so much. I mean, it's given me the Torfers. I mean, you know, it's given me friends for life. It's given me a family.
It's the opportunity for me to have received a really great education in America. So now I'm able to get my undergraduate degree and a master's degree.
The opportunity to travel to, you know, Japan, Taiwan, all those places.
Playing the sport I love, still playing with the Torferns.
The opportunities are one of the best part of being, you know, Torfern and being a part of basketball.
I'd love for the younger ones to be like, oh my gosh, I want to be a part of that someday. Obviously there's so many people wanting to play basketball, but if that's something that they're aspiring to be like, that would be awesome too.
I think New Zealand's known as such a sporting nation, and the basketball scene is growing so rapidly that I want the Torfens to be something these young kids are aspiring to. So they want to say, I grew up to be an All Black, but I grew up to be a Torfern. And for them right here to come out and practice and say like, yeah, I love basketball, this is a fun sport, a sport I can be with my friends, a sport where I see a lot of opportunity and a lot of pathways, because at the end of the day, basketball can take you places, and so the Torfens is a great route for that.
For me, I'm just super proud every time I step out onto the court, knowing I'm wearing that black singlet, because as a Torfern, you've got a lot of pride, and playing for your country, having your sisters' backs. Definitely proud to wear that singlet every time I step out on the court.
Hey, welcome back to Cal Stadium. I'm Terry Brunel, with me James Lisserman. Getting ready here, second half of the Under-17 Aon Boys National Final with Waitaha on 46 and Waikato on 50. And so there's been multiple lead changes, but towards the end of that second quarter, Waikato started to establish themselves just a little bit more.
Yeah, they hit those threes that were really, really big. De Young's hit one, I think, that one in the corner, and then Smiler hit two, which has really, stopped Canterbury from building a lead, which they would have had otherwise. And then, hasn't been any difference. Ngāwhā has just been a monster on the boards. And then McBurney Griffin has been an issue as well, having to worry about two guys to keep off. They're doing a good job of one, but not both of them simultaneously.
So, as predicted, Waitaha have run a few bench players in and out of the game. The most anyone's paid at the moment for them is Josh Book, who's played 18 of the possible 20. But for Waikato, they've got three players who've played 20 minutes and one with 18. So they're pretty much just bringing one in every now and again to rest a player. Evans has been there the whole time. McBurney Griffin's been there the whole time. And Ngāwhā's been here the whole time.
Yes, anyway, third quarter underway. Here's Lavery driving all the way in.
That's what you've got to do to get past Ngāwhā.
Yep, no, get him to move to one side of the rim, all the way to the other, and then the scoop reverse layup. So that puts the lead is cut in half. 2-point lead now for Waikato.
3 ball on the way, couldn't get it.
And you saw there both Freeman and Hunter Adam boxed out the two guys they were worried about, and that allowed Book to just come in and clean up the rebound.
Freeman dishes it off. Nice finish here from Hunter Adam.
Yeah, and game is tied now, 50 points apiece. An excellent start for Canterbury here.
Something slightly different at the moment. They're attacking the interior, which they haven't done because of the shot blocking prowess of Ngāwhā and McBurney Griffin.
Well, it's probably a bit about, hey, if we never test them, they're not going to get that tired. So as you see McBurney Griffin there, that was what I said before, just throw it up softly, go and get your own rebound and put that in pretty easily.
So that big body, you can move people around. Freeman had to think about the three, came back to Book. Book moves it on to Lavery. Freeman's open on the far side if they can find him. Cuts into the foul line.
I think he could have just about gone up and shot there. There was nobody near him.
Easily could have taken the little foul line jumper, but there's clearly a mandate here to attack these big guys and see if they can't get them in a little bit of foul trouble. The coach ain't taking them out unless they're in foul trouble.
If they get up by 20 points, he has taken them out then, but while he thinks he needs them, they're going to be playing his Book.
Book with a wedgie off the out of bounds play. That's a very high wedgie, that one. It didn't just kind of sat in that last little bit, but I don't think it would have dropped even if it had caught the backboard.
Yeah, I wonder if he was expecting someone with the wingspan of the Kiva McBurney Griffin to be out there challenging the shot when he worked so hard to get open for that.
So Waitaha still playing the zone, 3-2 zone, or more like a 1-2-2 actually, because Walter Brown is having to respect the shooting out the top. Great job here by Freeman, who's pulled down the rebound, and Ngāwhā's been called for an over-the-back foul.
Yeah, it's only his second foul, and you can hear the applause here from all around us, which seems to be a pretty pro-Canterbury area of the stadium.
Yeah, I think they'd like to see him sitting down for a few minutes in this game at least. Freeman looks inside to Adam. Adam back to Freeman. Freeman back to Adam. Adam puts his hands through the gap. Back to Freeman again. Freeman has it partially stripped out of bounds by Evans with 12 on the shot clock.
Yeah, he went the wrong way there. He could have just driven, almost directly to the rim, and then they would have the kick-out pass. I think it was Book on the opposite side. Could have made a wide open, an easy pass to him for three, but at the moment Canterbury's sort of getting stuck one side of the floor.
Yeah, someone tell him we're paying rental for the whole gym. Yeah, it's gone out of bounds. A bit of a behind the back type play that didn't come off. This stage of things, you really want to just keep it simple, just get some penetration, get a nice kick out and see if you can get Walter Brown or Josh Book a 3-ball, or Benji Freeman. You got three really good
especially the whole
shooters.
team can shoot. I mean, Lavery's 0 of 2, but he hit some massive ones in their semi-final win over Auckland, wasn't it?
Ngāwhā, and it goes back to White. White back into Ngāwhā, has it poked away by Freeman. That'll be a foul. I think that's 2 now. Is that 3 now on Freeman?
I think it'll be, yeah, I can see that was
earlier,
13.
didn't we? We said it was...
That was 2 before, so this is 3 for him.
Can't even read that. I can read it, surprisingly.
Yeah, it looks like a 3 to me, but then I'm expecting it to say 3, so I'm scared to say it definitely is. But as DeYoung launches a standstill 3 and Mafua straight up over the top of Freeman, but yeah, couldn't hold it.
Lavery puts it on the floor. Oh, serious bump by White. Spin move doesn't come off. Little jump hook does come off for Hunter Adam.
And I feel like that could have been a foul that was missed, because it wasn't like the slow sort of move away from the player to try and sell one. He got bumped off his path pretty dramatically there.
It's a tie ball game, 52 apiece. They go inside Nafo all alone, not going to do anything about that. Takes the lead back, 54 plays 52. High scoring game. Out of bounds, Lavery got it, obviously stepped back.
Yeah, I think
he
they
was
were
on the way to the hoop. Sub coming in, Ryan Pringle back into the game, and Benji Freeman goes out.
Yeah, so I think Canterbury was sort of looking for the Spanish breaker sort of stuff there, but Lavery never came back to get the ball, and then kept drifting away, and just bad spacing ends up with a turnover for Canterbury.
Burnley Griffin, he's found DeYoung in the corner who had his path blocked. Dobson said no, he doesn't want to take that 3. Young has it stripped away, but Evans winds up with it. 3 on the shot clock, little double cross scoop.
And that looks almost like Lavery and him have practiced that same move in a mirror. I'm surprised it works so well against another player. He scores.
Lavery's saying, well, that's your move, I've got one of these.
Well, he does have multiple moves.
Can you do that?
And that foul is called on number 20, Mafua, so that will be his 3rd foul of the game.
It wasn't quite the full rondo, but it had a little bit of rondo.
It did. And just it's that change of speed is so quick. So here we can see, just going out of screen, Mafua is actually heading to the bench. Coming in, number 10, Ezra Smiler. 6:27 to go here.
Lavery couldn't get the roll on the foul shot. Waikato up 2. Evans probing. Skip pass inside to McBurney Griffin. Don't know how he pulled that out of the middle of everyone, but he did.
Well, it almost looked like Canterbury was surprised the pass was coming towards 3 of them, and then all of a sudden McBurney Griffin was like, well, I'll just take this and finish it.
Book finds an elbow. Nice little pull-up. Little snake dribble. Elbow jumper. Smiler on the run.
And good job by Pringle to get all the way back. Now they've reset their defence.
Evans, the organiser. McBurney Griffin to the basket. Kind of lost his footing. Managed to get his own rebound. It looked like Book had blocked it clean. I'd like to see that again on the replay if we can. But he's going to earn 2 shots at the line. So let's have a look here. Oh, maybe a bit of wrist.
It was actually Pringle was called for the foul, I think. And I can see a 4 up for him.
That's not helpful.
Which does add up properly.
There's not a lot of big guys on the Waitaha team.
Unfortunately, Freeman has 3 fouls. Then Pringle has 4. And then it's probably Hunter Adams who you're forced to play as well. And then Walter Brown, maybe your next ones, that are used to playing that sort of, or can play that.
He's a big guard, Walter Brown.
He is, but...
So, yeah. I mean, he's a guard, but he's got long arms. Doesn't quite have the height that some of the other guys have got. But certainly operating along the baseline there. Book couldn't find him, and they find Smiler on the break. Freeman knows he can't foul, so that was smart. Bailed out of it when he didn't have position. Nice little run here coming from Waikato. Got all the momentum at the moment. Oh, all the way through. Lavery.
Yeah, just almost surprised them, and they thought, well, there's 3 guys here. Surely he's not going to go through everyone. Here's a chance to get an 8-second, but the McBurney Griffin brings it over pretty easily in the end.
Evans wide open for 3, lets it fly short on that. Saved and then lost, and then
there's a chance to run.
Comes down with it. Book has Freeman if he wants him, decides not to take him, draws the foul. Nice contact finish from Josh Book. He does that really well.
We'll have a look at the replay of that. That was great by Canterbury. You can see here Book just controlled Euro step, and it was 14 junior DeYoung called for the foul. I believe anyway, going off the replay, I didn't actually watch if he was the one that was called for it, but that's what it certainly looked like. So the score is 61-60.
Book has a chance to tie it up on the line.
Oh, I just saw the referee. So there was actually an issue with the referees in the bench saying, we think you've got the wrong number. So I saw them then saying, yes, it was 14. So that's what it looked like in the replay, and that's what the referees called as well.
Book tidies up the three-point play and ties up the game.
So
Lavery and Caslow Evans having a nice little battle. Who's got the flashiest play? Skip pass. Inside McBurney Griffin. Should have probably taken that shot, but opted to try and find his three-point shooter in the corner.
Yeah, so there's 8 seconds on the shot clock here. So Canterbury will know if they can keep it on one side and then block out. They should be able to get a pretty good defensive position here. Waikato obviously will look to try and swing it and attack quickly and get an open shot.
Dobson didn't want it. He found DeYoung, who loaded the three and dropped it in.
Well, if you were going to ask me, should I go and guard Dobson or should I stay with DeYoung, I would have said 100% stay with DeYoung. Waikato knew that, and it's a nice three-point bucket for the shooter.
Now that there's no Nafor in there, Lavery is getting to the rim at will. He's not as bothered about it by McBurney Griffin.
Anyway, that was a goaltending call there, so 2 points goes on the scoreboard for Canterbury, down 1, 64-63 now. And everything's correct as that you can see on the screen at home. 4:13, we're just under that now to go in the third quarter.
Evans inside to McBurney Griffin, powers it to the basket, blocked by Hunter Adam. Walter Brown had it, lost it to Dobson. That's what Dobson does do well. He's one of those guys who gets all that loose stuff. Another block from Hunter Adam. And we go for 3 in a row here.
I'd like to see that again if we can. How many times do you see an alley-oop attempted that gets blocked in the air?
And a shot clock violation. Hunter Adam.
Let's have a look at that replay now. That block may be play of the game here. Have a look at this. So there's the alley-oop and bang, swatted as he tried to catch it and throw it down. Right, let's go out of that now and we'll go to live action. There's Freeman in the post, just a kick back to Book.
He's wide open. Benji decides not to take that, puts it on the floor, goes to the basket. Sticking with the team mandate, couldn't get the roll. He's trying to attack the bigs.
Yeah, he got some contact there, threw it up nice and softly and had a chance for the tip-in, but it looked like it was going to go in and everyone had left, so easy rebound for Waikato in the end.
Still in the zone, skip pass comes, they go inside McBurney Griffin, and again it's blocked.
Well, smart play by McBurney Griffin. We'll try and look at that later on.
He let it go so that he could land and go back up again, but that was tight.
There's Lavery off the ball screen.
Splits him. He doesn't care about McBurney Griffin, but he worried him out of the shot in the end.
Evans Jr., nice kick-off pass there.
That's the 2 you should have got, the 2 you gave up going the other way. Little 4-point swing there.
And we've got a substitution coming in shortly for Waitaha Canterbury. Book with that snake dribble. Steps through, he draws a foul.
Yep. Now let's see who this is on.
They look like a 9 to me. Let's have a look at the replay of that.
Yeah, it's on Daniel Dobson. Little snake, little show, little shaky move, and yeah, Dobson came across the shoulder.
Yep. So anyway, Canterbury from the free throw line, this will be their 7th and 8th free throw attempt, so not a whole lot of shots so far. They're now 5 of 7 from the line, and that bucket there, that point there puts Book up to 9 points in the game, and Waikato's 5 of 6 from the free throw line, so pretty even in terms of that. Nobody really wants to see a free throw possession the whole game through.
No, it's been well officiated so far. They're letting them play, like sometimes those blocks, and they were good clean blocks.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hate to see somebody go to that effort, make a great play, and then they get put on the line because it's, might have been contact. Pretty clear, good defense. Dobson likes the short corner.
Yeah, it looked like he was still deciding if I should shoot it the whole way up, and he's like, well, no one's really come to me. I'm still wide open. I know I can make this.
Kick out, Walter Brown. Can't get it to go. Freeman has the rebound, gets the point. Couldn't get the roll. How many of those have been rimming out?
And I think that's another one, McBurney Griffin, just by being there as
starting
presence.
to win the battle, isn't he, really? Saying you're going to disrespect me, I'm going to change a few shots.
And is this the seal? It is. Walter Brown, no, not yet.
Couldn't get it off the ground, but in the end, Waikato threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the second one was. I thought it looked like a steal, but then probably a back over half by the time Waikato picked it back up. Their momentum dragged them over.
Good.
So it's probably ended up
Dobson, though, you know, like he's just one of those roll your sleeves up type guys. And I'll go and get some loose possessions.
There's just a bit of humour there. Keslow Evans calling for a towel to wipe up the sweat. So his team throws him a towel. He's like, no, not for me, you guys. I want you guys to clean up the sweat. I'm the coach here, see? What were you thinking? But he's got the towel now. Here's Tane Lavery bringing the ball up. 5-point deficit here, but obviously it's been super close the whole way through.
Penetration goes past Keslow. Evans gets all the way to the basket, couldn't finish it. Freeman finishes it for him. That's his high school teammate tidying up the mess. Keslow Evans going, you want to do that? I want to do that.
Yeah, it's a fantastic battle between the two teams. I'm just checking if I can see what's been the biggest margin between the two teams. I don't feel like it's been more than 6 points the whole way through.
Probably getting close. 5 or 6, I would think. Waikato's had the bigger lead. Well, apart from right at the beginning when it was 7-0.
It is true.
And Evans has just picked up a little chippy of a foul there where...
yeah, we'll have a look at this. Evans
he probably didn't need to reach in there, but I think he looked at, okay, I've got a big guy handling the rock. I might be able to get something here, but in the end he gets a foul.
So down inside the final minute, that's why it actually says quarter two. It is the third quarter officially, but why you've got a sort of mini P&P there. We're inside 1 minute, so 58.1 I think it is here remaining. Waikato up by 5, but here's Hunter Adam at the free throw line. Can't cut into that. Then looking at the stats, Waikato has not been up by more than 5 points, so just where they are now, it's been closer than that the whole way. And as you said, Canterbury was up by 7 points very early in the game, but towards the end of the first quarter, it has never been more than 5 points between these two teams.
Brown loads up a 3 from the corner. That's the worst possible outcome when somebody misses 2 foul shots. You give up a O board for a 3 ball.
Well, it depends which team you're on.
It's a coach killer. Coaches don't like that much.
Good defence there. Unfortunately, it's De Jong wide open in the corner. Doesn't make the 3 there. Pretty lucky for Canterbury.
35 seconds to go in the quarter, so Canterbury will try and use as much of the clock as they can, see if they can get an O board or a basket.
So the score 72-70, and there's about a 12-second differential here. So 6 on the shot clock now. Book knows it goes in. Quick find underneath for Freeman. He doesn't quite make it, and now there's a chance for Waikato. 10 on the game clock.
Myler, can he finish it? Oh, he does. Oh, and he called a foul on Hunter Adam.
You could see him looking for a referee to question. He felt like he landed cleanly. We'll see if we can see it.
It was a good up fake. Certainly what you want to do as a guard, get a big to leave the ground and wait till they're on their way down and then head up and see if you can't snag a little bit of a wing on the way up and finish the play with 3 points.
No, I think
sub coming in. Mason Murphy comes in to replace Kurt Mipana here for the last 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think if I was Hunter Adam there, once I was off my feet, I probably would have just landed on him. Make sure there's no chance he can get a 3-point play.
He doesn't finish it anyway. 6 seconds to go. Book. This is where he likes to operate. Gets open and doesn't hit it. So we've seen Josh Book hit many a shot like that before, but not this time. So down 4, Waikato lead 74-70. We're getting ready for the final quarter.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can say, hey, we want to get the medals engraved or the cup engraved with our name, because it's been back and forth the whole way. But Waikato sort of they've just been able to keep that tiny buffer the whole way there. Without Canterbury's made some shots, Waikato's pretty much answered every single time. It's felt like there's going to be a Waitaha Canterbury run.
And Coach Keslow Evans has had Nafo sitting on the bench for a good long period of time, so he's well rested now, and would expect him probably to come in and start the fourth quarter, which presents another set of problems.
It does. In terms of scoring, Mafua, as you said, 22 points, 11 rebounds. Did slow down a little bit, but then other people started making buckets and scoring points as well. So Kevin McBurney-Griffin, 13 points, 16 rebounds for him. So he was very close to a 20-20 game in the playoff win earlier in the day. Caslow Evans Jr., 17 points, 4 assists for him. And Ezra Smiler has 12 points, 3 assists as well. And that's pretty much the bulk of their scoring. DeYoung has 8 points. And for Canterbury, we have leading scorer Josh Book has 15 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Tane Lavery and Walter Brown both had 12 points apiece. And then Benji Freeman has 10 points, 7 rebounds, but he's 4 of 11 from the field, 4 offensive rebounds. And I feel like a lot of those offensive rebounds, I think he scored 1 of them or 2 of them, but he could have probably be looking at them thinking, man, I should have easily made all of those.
Little
those
gimmies
4.
that have rimmed out, rolled out, and you've got to make those while you can, particularly with Nafor off the floor, you've got to make those while he's out, because you're not going to get the opportunity to take them while he's in. So he is back in now. So Waikato come back out with Evans and Smiler and DeYoung, the 3-point shooter. McBurney-Griffin and Nafor. Let's see who Waitaha Canterbury come out with. And they're rolling the dice here with
Pringle,
Tane Lavery, Walter Brown, Josh Book. They've got the 2 bigs on the floor with Hunter Adam.
Yeah, I think I'd put Pringle out as well. Like when he fouls out, then the decision's made.
Yeah.
But you know, if you think you need him now, especially once you saw Nwafor coming out,
good plan.
This is the time to use him.
Inside to Pringle. Pringle goes high over top of McBurney-Griffin, so he proves us all correct.
Yeah. As expected, the lead staying pretty tight for the 2 teams here.
A little bit of half-court trap action here from Waitaha. Lavery gets rubbed off on the ball screen, and the foul will go on Walter Brown, potentially.
Looks like 14 was the call. Let's have a look at the replay there. It looked like she called 14.
Pringle. He does come. He is in the vicinity. No,
it's definitely not Pringle,
Definitely Brown having a dig at it.
DeYoung's just
on the way, couldn't get it. Adam with a nice rebound. Lavery gives it to Adam. He looked for Pringle. There was no passing lane available.
Yeah, I think he needs to recognise, is Nwafor in front of me? If he's not, then that's the opportunity to go hard to the rim.
They go inside to Nwafor, turns the wrong way and tries to shoot it with his right hand. And I think he had a bit of trouble getting that around the backboard.
Well, to be fair on him, most of the time you've missed, you have been able to get the rebound as well.
Lavery decides not. He hits Walter Brown in the corner. Walter Brown leaves it long. Pringle tracks it down, but only as far as Smiler.
And he's very good at stepping through
the gap. He's very good at that. And a 3-point play makes it doubly worse for Waitaha defensively. And Brown is now racking up a few fouls.
Yes,
3 on him now.
I assume you can see that from this far, Terry. You are correct.
From a mile and a half away in the commentary position.
I should ask them to pump it up for the number of fouls so that we can see.
I actually think fingers would be more effective.
And he does complete the 3-point play, so back to a 5-point lead for Waikato.
So a little run from Waitaha, and it's covered by Waikato. They're saying no way.
The unfortunate thing is it was almost an extra possession from Pringle. Instead it turns into a 3-point play in transition. See, Ezra...
Evans takes away a rebound from McBurney-Griffin.
We go just feeling stuff out. Smiler launches a 3, stays there, so that means it's probably going to miss if he stays.
They're all over the boards at the moment. Waikato, Nafor's there. Great piece of defense by Hunter Adams, remaining vertical throughout the play. Book spinning, twisting, lost it through the gap, but somebody reached in.
And looked pretty sheepish from Evans Jr., so I think the foul will have been...
He's in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, we can see that again, I think would be good, but he's in a little bit of trouble here. He's on the edge with 4 fouls now. The leading point guard goes out. Things could change rapidly.
There it is, right there.
And he's not willing to get involved in any kind of defence here as Lavery misses the layup.
And we'll see who this foul is called on. It's on 20, so Nwafor. That will be number 4 for him.
So, yeah, now 4 on 4 as well. So, yeah, there's some issues here right now for Caslow Evans Sr. His 2 of his star players are having to last the next nearly 8 minutes. Walter Brown pulls down a rebound and...
or was it a pass?
Gadget arms and banks it in.
Yeah, Hunter Adam just wide open at the corner. Took the 3. He's a good 3-point shooter as well, but obviously does a lot of damage around the rim against smaller foes.
Evans driving through the lane, finds Nafua, has it blocked.
Well, let's see if we can...
Unbelievable block by Hunter Adam, and a foul from McBurney Griffin, which is not going to help the cause.
Well, let's see if we can see that whole play there.
That is a big-time play from Hunter Adam. Considering the verticality factor, we're not going to see the beginning of it, but that pretty well smashed going to the basket.
It's not often if you go... So we've seen an alley-oop don't get blocked, and then that one, probably one of the toughest guys there who was looking to throw it down, cocked it back. And
Lavery's having an absolute mare from the foul line. What's his free throw situation? He's
2 of 4 before that one.
Channeling some mental telepathy here to try and get the next one to go down, and it doesn't. It's in and out.
Nafua just picks up the easy rebound there. So the score stays 77-74. Under 7.5 to go here in the final quarter. The Aon National Tournament boys under 17s.
Evans decides to shoot the 3. It doesn't go down. Rebound is here. Nafua with the easy putback.
And I think Smiler just getting involved there, just put that... Canterbury had to wait to see where the ball went. That allowed Nafua to come in and seal that.
Adam to the basket. Nafua wants no part of that. He wants to stay the course. So there's the option now available to get to the rim, because Nafua's not really looking to challenge anything like he was earlier in the game.
I get the feeling if we see a 5-point run either way, we're going to see a quick timeout.
Evans rolls it off the rim after a little snake dribble.
He just looks unconcerned, doesn't he, all the way through, in control.
Book. Well, he took it at McBurney Griffin, who maintained his verticality.
Let's have a look at that. We have a timeout here, so this is a great time to have a look at that again. Here's Book driving up, crosses over. You can see McBurney Griffin just jumped very early, made sure he wasn't moving whatsoever.
Nice piece of defence there. There's been some great defence, particularly from the bigs in the last few minutes. I mean, Hunter Adam, my goodness.
Yeah,
that block was unbelievable, considering the verticality that Nafua has. And he was looking to throw it down, and it just simply got the no sir, not today from Hunter Adam.
Yeah, he's up to 4 blocks, and 2 of them I think could be... They would not be out of place playing for a couple of $1 million over in America, would they, Terry?
He's a candidate here for, if they can pull this one out, Waitaha, he's a candidate for the most valuable player with those plays alone.
Yeah, no, it'll go off the whole tournament. We do get to pick the commentator's choice for player of the game for this one, though. Finals game player of the game, I guess. And that timeout, looking at the light, it looks like it was called by Waikato. So it may have actually been I know I don't want to play a whole lot of guys here if I can help it, so I'm going to take this to give them a quick mini rest here. 6.5 to go.
He's also taken the opportunity to take Nafua out, because there was the potential for him to be removed.
Yeah.
Hunter Adam with a little floater which rims out. There's been so many like that. If they lose this one, they're going to look back at those little gimmies that it didn't quite drop. DeYoung along the baseline. Adam breaks it up. Smiler was all set, ready to knock one down from the corner.
Yeah, as you're saying about those gimme buckets, it's almost like everyone expects them to go in, so they've all left. There's a bad pass there, just about touched DeYoung on the way out. It will stay with Waikato, though.
Pringle getting a hand in. Not a lot of movement going on here, and Dobson winds up with it. They throw it back to the inbounder who couldn't get it. Hunter Adam on the board. Walter Brown hasn't done much for a little while. We'd look to see him get him back involved. Lavery. Brown with the skip to Book. Book loads up a 3. 3 doesn't go. Brown with a rebound.
You saw those their arm length there, able to
Book
knock it
again with a 3. This one doesn't go down. Hunter Adam with a phenomenal almost putback.
And this is going to be an offensive foul, I think, here. I don't think it should
to be made here.
Let's have a look at the replay here.
Let's just see what happened there. Yeah, they're going with
not enough.
The foul on Walter Brown.
And you can see him pleading like what. Yeah, I think I'm with Walter. Like he was next to him. They were contesting the rebound. The crowd around us obviously doesn't like that call either. And in defence of Keslow Evans, he was trying to create space, get the guy off him as quickly as he could. So
DeYoung loads up a three. Never looked like it was going to go that one. And they leave it to go out of bounds.
And it bounces off one of the signs and across the Aon Nationals logo on the court that we were meant to have this game on.
It's an unusual year.
Yeah, it is.
When you're commentating from the grandstand a court away from the game and all the crowd are sitting on the court that they were supposed to play on. It's a typical 2020 thing. Ed Book's son.
Yep.
Ed Book's boy Josh missed it, but Pringle tidied it up for him. 81-78.
And I can see Nwafor back at the bench. He's ready to come in. We'll see if he can stick out the rest of the game.
Myler back to Evans. Evans calls for the on-ball screen. Dobson obliges. Evans loads up a three. It doesn't go. Pulled down by Lavery. Pushing it straight away. Finds Book. Book spin. Finds Brown. Brown almost threw it down. It's still with him.
And he just stumbled coming away from there. That was what we needed to see from Canterbury to have a chance, is to push the ball in transition.
Oh, that's an offensive foul. But I like to see the replay because Pringle's feet look like they may have been in the charge circle.
It's not going to matter even if they were, because McBurney Griffin wasn't airborne, so it was an on-the-ground foul. So
on the ground foul, fair enough. Oh, there's nothing available for us to see that. But yeah, she was... a 50-50 one, that one.
Yeah, no, it's 100% the right call. He was, still spinning, ready to take another step and then take off.
I believe
Canterbury was there, knows that he likes to go baseline. Yeah. And the momentum has shifted all of a sudden Canterbury's way. We'll see if they can complete it.
Brown
come back
with a three. Oh, it's a wedgie on the other side. How can that be?
So he hit both wedgies? Josh Book had the first one.
You can go weeks and not see a three-ball wedgie, and we've seen two in one game. And it's one of those high ones again. Look at that, it's way up there.
So McBurney Griffin doesn't want to use up his energy to knock the ball away, it seems. And Benji Freeman has thrown a bottle.
So Walter Brown obliges. After all, he was the one that put it there.
Yeah, well, I'll just be interested to see, does... just ignoring the referee's request to have that done, does that play into what they sort of look for? And if they're going to be like, hey, there's a 50-50 call, you didn't do something that you very easily could have, so I'm not calling it your way. So
Nwafor goes into Dobson, little floater Dobson.
Well, he's had some key buckets for them, not a whole lot of points. And obviously more of their defensive player. He's up to 4 on the game, that baseline jump on that one.
Kick out. Brown didn't get it. Good challenge there from Pringle, but he's in the danger zone, so he doesn't want to get too excited about climbing over the back.
So a 3-point lead for Waikato here, just inside 4 minutes.
Myler loads up a three. That doesn't go, and Dobson's starting to come into his own here with O-board. All the scrappy stuff and the little mid-range pull-up game. And here he goes again with a mid-range pull-up. Nothing but air, but tidied up by Smiler. The hardest thing to rebound's one that doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, so Waikato back to that 5-point lead. They've answered the Canterbury comeback. And now there's a loud defence chant being called for. A lot of movement there. Good job by Hunter Adams to keep his balance as he sort of navigated through 3 or 4 defenders to score it. 3-point game here. 3:15, I think, on the clock. And it's another timeout for Waikato, so I think they'll only be down to 1 timeout the rest of the way here. That's assuming the arrow that says which side the timeout.
So, yeah, like you say, Waikato weathered the storm there and then took what could have turned into an 8-point lead. They had a couple of 3-point looks, but instead it stayed at 5, and then they answered again, Waitaha. So this one ain't over yet. It has the potential to be, dare I say it, it's got some overtime look about it.
I wouldn't mind it. My kids they came until halftime, so if you're still watching Eli and Easton, hello, and you should be in bed now. You can watch the rest tomorrow.
We're already overtime because we had to move from one court to another.
Yeah, I sort of expected this game to be wrapping up about 9:10. I thought I'd be able to leave 9:30 after everything was packed up, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to drastically re-look at my estimation of time.
It's been a fitting final, there's no doubt about it. The star players have all stepped up at one time or another. You know, the fatigue factor has been managed by Caslow Evans. He has just kind of rolled them one at a time out and left the other 4 on the floor. And Waitaha, I mean, we might again see Benji Freeman at some stage if we definitely need a 3-ball, and Pringle's on the edge of going out if there's any foul trouble. Dobson, Nafor. Oh, blocked again by Hunter Adam.
Was that Hunter Adam or...
I thought it was Hunter Adam.
Yeah, it was one of them anyway. He was just surprised that someone's been up there challenging the shots.
Oh my goodness, Lavery with a little showtime action, probably needed to dish it off. He got it back and he's given it to Evans with a no-looker. Smiler to the basket, left it on the front of the rim, and Evans is gone. He's just fouled the rebounder.
And you can see that, hands in the face. We'll try and get a replay. He knows what that means.
2:44 to go. Caslow Evans Jr.
And
he's the one who stirs the drink, and he is coming out and won't be coming back in.
So probably the ironic thing here is Waikato has the biggest bench in the whole tournament. They've got 12 people, so 7 people on the bench, but obviously prefer to use 6 or 7 if they can, as Hunter Adam hits the first free throw. He's had a few problems from the free throw line as well. Well, that's to put it mildly, 1 of 4 before that one.
Be interesting to see how this one plays out now. So who came in for Evans there?
I think it was De Young came in.
De Young came in. So yeah,
they'll probably look to Smiler.
I don't know if I'd have Bernie Griffin as my point guard right now, but
Smiler's probably going to be who they rely on a bit. Small push off there, and Smiler looked like he was trying to draw something as well.
Good power move there. Went to the little bank.
So just
3-point ball game.
2:24 to go here. Big three.
Wants to tie it up. He couldn't get it. Lavery almost injured himself on the way. Did injure himself on the way down. Smiler attacking the rim with a scoop. Couldn't get it. Pringle held his ground. Book. Got Walter Brown on the right. Lavery looking to penetrate. Got to find a shooter.
And yeah, I was going to say there looked like there was 2 hands there.
I mean, I know Lavery can get to the basket, but at the moment the baseline drive's not really producing any kind of kick-out pass to anyone. Doing a pretty good job, Waikato, covering that corner shooter.
Yeah, let's have a look at the replay if we can here. That was Dobson with the foul. Lavery's at the free throw line. We'll tell you what he does there.
So he goes along the base, and look, McBurney Griffin says, no, it's not going to hit to any shooters. It's kind of...
Lavery, the first one just rolled off the rim. He's 2 of 6 from the line, so it won't be just the gimmies from the field.
He's a good enough player to make 3 of 7. No, sir, doesn't get it. Nafor gets it. Had a mirror on the line, Lavery. Oh, interesting little screen potentially there. Nafor held his ground though. Smiler.
They almost feel like Waikato's expecting the team to put it big there and just let him dribble up.
A little bit disorganised, and still McBurney Griffin gets it. Pushes the lead back out to 5, where it's been a number of times. Lavery, penetrate. Brown, can he hit this one? Couldn't get it.
McBurney Griffin's just starting to eat up those boards now. So
steal from Book. I think I'd put Benji Freeman back in the game right now. Book loads up a 3, trying to get them all at once, Waitaha. Oh, there's a foul to go on Book.
Not the worst thing in the world, because I don't think they're on the bonus yet. Let's have a look at the replay there. We've got a second or 2.
Yeah, he just kind of...
See, De Young almost lost the ball, so that's why Book went for the steal. Fortunate for Waikato, for De Young, he was able to regather it. Because if you do want to foul later on, this does put you 1 away from the bonus. Well, you're in the bonus now. The next foul will definitely send Waikato to the line. Well, both teams are in the bonus.
Oh, could have lost it there. McBurney Griffin going to work again. Can't get this one. Nafor was all over it. Pringle had it. Lost it out of bounds.
So yeah, this may be Waikato's biggest lead of the game if they can convert here. Not a bad time to do it if you're from up north. And we'll have a quick look at that while McBurney Griffin stretches himself out.
Oh, here we go.
So there's the rebound, the tip in, another rebound, and he saw that just off the fingertips here.
Could have easily been off either player, but last one to touch it, Pringle. Like I say, I think I would probably take Pringle out right now and put Freeman in just as another scoring option.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's done a fantastic job for what his role is, but unfortunately the way the game's going, what you need now is probably points a little bit more than stops. If you can get 3 while you're giving up 2, you're going to eat into this lead. Obviously, time's a factor as well.
Book and Brown have had a couple of looks each at it, but neither of them have been able to knock it down. And Freeman's the sort of guy that in a moment like this could maybe do that. Nice out of bounds play here. That would seal it completely off, but instead, Waitaha come down with it. Book on the little floaty skip move, gets it. Little Euro floater.
So 46.9 seconds here to go. 3-point game. Here's Smiler.
Not quite getting as organised as they usually do with Evans on the floor, but Smiler's taken up the challenge.
Evans yelling at him behind him to tell him what to set up. So 30 seconds here, 7 on the shot clock.
McBurney Griffin goes to the drive, off the board, gets the roll. The timeout on the floor, Waitaha.
Yeah, the arrow is
5 again with 24 seconds to go.
We'll see if we can see a replay of that. That may be the sealing bucket of the game there.
Well, 3 critical plays there in a row, really, from McBurney Griffin, using his size, powering it to the basket, getting a little roll on the finish.
Yeah, I said he was close to a 20-20 in the playoffs, in the semi-final. He's at 19 and 19.
Wow.
Oh, actually, I think he tipped that in, didn't he? If I remember. He may actually have his 20 rebounds. We'll see what happens with the live stats in a second or two, but yeah, this is where you do need a quick bucket, so I would be very surprised if Freeman wasn't in here, because you want as much shooting as you possibly can. Yeah, 19 and 19 he's on, so
that's not a bad evening.
No, I think he's probably my pick for...
If it stays this way, yep, I would support that, although Evans has played a nice game.
I know, yeah.
Nafor's played a nice game, but in the end,
I think it's one of those 3 if Waikato can hang on, and I'm just going to give more of the weight to the plays that have been made down the stretch. And obviously, Keslo Evans Jr. is on the bench, so he'll be eliminated from that decision.
So Waitaha staying with the same lineup. Lavery got to find Book. Book's got to shoot that. He's got to make that. He doesn't make it. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Waikato ball. 18.5 to go in the game clock.
Yeah, so Canterbury will probably try and trap, and
full court pressure coming. McBurney Griffin puts it on the floor, finds Smiler. Smiler advances it halfway. They throw it to Nafor, who went up, tried to throw it down.
Yeah, probably not the decision that you want. You're up 5 here. They need to foul, and he's not the guy you probably want to go to the line. We'll have a look at this replay here. So he's not a fantastic shooter. See, Smiler here is just like, oh, we can go the whole way, good pass, but then you'd much rather it got kicked out to the other side, given the time and score in the game.
You didn't really need to score that, but...
Although he's shot 4 of 5 from the line this game.
It would have been spectacular had he scored it.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good reason to do it. That's going to be the shot everyone remembers.
First one misses.
So assuming the game stays like this, who should we get? Should we get McBurney Griffin?
Well, he's come up with the big plays at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like he kept them in front.
Yeah, so I think we'll try.
Stepped up when his point guard went out. Nafor's had a great game as well, but McBurney Griffin, I think, has been the one.
Yeah, well, there's still a chance we may need someone from Waitaha.
He didn't look like he was fouled on that, but it's not going to matter. Waikato are the winners. The Aon men's under-17 final here at Cal Stadium on court 2.
Yeah, court 2 and across court 1.
And they're pretty excited about that. A great final. Had its ebbs and flows, but they managed to get the 5-point buffer several times and then get it back there whenever the run was made. So yeah, well, I think it might be a long way to travel. He might have to come all the way over here.
Yeah, well, I've got him going to about halfway on the stadium. I'll let them do their handshakes. And we've got our assistant person, Josh Thompson, who's actually New Zealand under 18 men's 3-on-3 coach. So it's been a massive team effort to get these games live streamed today. Multiple commentators, you, me, Josh Thompson's done some, Sam McCartan, Robbie Carston's done some as well. I think that might be, and Shay. I've just forgotten.
Hera,
yeah.
She did a good job for the women's final with me because she knew all the players. And it took me a while to figure them out.
That's the hard thing when you're involved with the organising of a tournament. You're like, I just don't really have time to look into all of the player names. I'll try and learn them as quickly as I can. And I've done a few games of live stats here, so I have learned a couple of players because of that. But yeah, it's definitely a whole lot easier if you know people just from looking at them.
Certainly a fitting final though. Well played by Waitaha, Canterbury, and congratulations to the Waikato team for pulling it out. They did a great job. All the big players stepped up when they needed to.
All right, I can see Josh is getting him now, so I'll head down and I'll leave the stats for you, Terry.
So just looking through, Akiva McBurnley-Griffin played the whole game, 19 points and 19 rebounds to go with that. Caslow Evans played 37 minutes and had 19 points. Ezra Smiler, 17 points on 34 minutes of play. Junior DeYoung, 8 points. KC Nafor, 24 points and 16 rebounds, with another candidate there for player of the match. And the only other scorer was Daniel Dobson, but he was certainly got involved in everything and hit a couple of critical shots at times. And for Waitaha, Tane Lavery had 12, Josh Book had 17, Hunter Adam had 19, but really you got to look in the blocks department for him. And so down at courtside is James with...
So probably the final, a really fitting final to finish off the tournament. How much have you enjoyed coming down here, playing this, and then obviously coming away with the win at the end of a pretty tough 3 days of competition?
I'm just grateful to be playing at a time like this, especially with all the pandemic issues we're having. Shout out to Christchurch, you've put on a really good tournament for us. I've enjoyed the 3 days here. It's been pretty jam-packed. I'm going to say my body's not holding up too well, but we made it to the final game. And so, yeah, that's just that.
You know, I mean, it was obviously neither team, well, if you ignore sort of the first 6 or 7 minutes, neither team was up by more than 5 points the whole way through. Like, when did you feel like comfortable, like, actually, we've got this in the bag? Like, how long did it take to get that feeling?
Till there's about, like, 10 seconds left in the game. Yeah. It was tight, you know. JB, he's like a top talent level player. You know, he can get shots off from anywhere, so we just had to be careful, especially in those that short time period that he doesn't get hot or get any shots off. So
no, you guys did a fantastic job. Obviously, quite a short rotation that you wanted to do. I think 7 players played in the game, and then obviously you had Keslo Evans Jr. fouled out. What did you guys have to do to sort of make up for your on-court leader, at least offensively, in terms of setting things up?
We just had to trust in each other. You know, Keslo's a big part of our offense, our basketball team in general, everything we do. So to have him go out like that, I mean, it's just fitting that we stepped up and we all played our part and got the dub.
No, fantastic job. One more thing, so this is up to you. Any message for the people that obviously couldn't come down here watching the live stream at home? Obviously, the supporters that you guys have left behind will have been very interested to see both the Waikato girls and the Waikato boys complete the double. So message for them at home.
Shout out to everyone in Hamilton, everyone in the Waikato area. Thanks for supporting, and special thanks to the 4-3 lads back in St. John's.
No, awesome. Well, congratulations. Fantastic final. Well done. Back to you, Terry, to wrap us up.
Thanks, James. Deserving our MVP anyway for the game. 19 and 19 is a pretty good day at the office. So Waikato 91, Waitaha Canterbury combined 86. We'll take a little break here before they start announcing winners and cups and tournament teams.
Just firstly, thank everybody for your cooperation on what we do across sports. We really appreciate that. Sorry for making you do that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AOL U17 Nationals award ceremony here in the beautiful sunny Christchurch. Before we start proceedings, I
Thank you very much. We just witnessed two wonderful finals, the guys and the gals, and anybody that doesn't think that New Zealand basketball is in a fantastic state obviously didn't watch closely enough. Congratulations to both the men's and the women's victors. Congratulations. On behalf of Canterbury Basketball, we hope you've enjoyed your time here. We've been delighted to put on this tournament, and when we get our new Metro Stadium at the end of next year, we'll see you back again and again and again. Congratulations to everybody, to the teams, to the management, the coaches, the referees, the score table, and everybody else that has made this tournament a wonderful success. All the best. Travel safe. Thank you.
And just sentiments, a huge thanks to our sponsors, obviously our main sponsor Aon, our volunteers have been amazing this week. Canterbury Basketball for hosting.
Here talking from Basketball News. So as you can hear Connor O'Fee. So this is the referees here.
And the championship boys final, I call on Regan Ashley, Sasha Nicholson, and Amy Jo Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, another massive hand for our officials this week, please. Fantastic. While we wait for the officials photo, handing out the girls' field tonight is a member of the local Canterbury Wildcats team and New Zealand Talkbirds, Tessa Bolango. Give it up. This is how it's going to work, girls. Call your team forward and come through, grab your medal, get over, grab a photo, and all will be well. So, for the under-17 girls, bronze medalists, congratulations to Harbour. Please come forward, girls.
Yeah, so this is the Waikato team here, third place team in the competition, obviously receiving their medals, and it's Tessa Boagni, who's one of our local Wildcats, Canterbury Alloyfold Canterbury Wildcats, and then a member of the Sky Sport New Zealand Tall Ferns. And that's their head coach, Justine Reid. So second place here was a very well fought defensive battle. This is Hutt Valley, and you just felt like they were 10 points away from the eventual champions Waikato the whole way through the game. Well deserved second place team, as they did beat Harbour in basically a de facto semi-final game. What day was that? Last night? Yeah, it was yesterday around 12:30 yesterday. I had the pleasure of doing live stats for that game, knowing that it was probably going to be the team which won it would be playing against Waikato or Otago in the final based on their game. So congratulations, second place team, the Hutt Valley girls. You can just see their coaching staff receiving the medals and the second place trophy. Or somebody will be taking it. And then posing for their photos. And I don't think it'll be any surprises next. We're going to see one of the two championship Waikato teams. This will be the one which has had the opportunity to have a shower after a win. Come back and they'll receive their medals, first place championship trophy. And obviously well-deserved winners. Just a very, very tough team. Have gone undefeated in the tournament here so far.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your U17 girls champions, Waikato.
So we can see there the Waikato girls team just moving up, I believe, to change order. I can see that's how the chief. That was the Waikato captain there, Jaisalee Waihi there, just giving a thank you, a shout out. All the supporters and people that have been involved in the team. Obviously started preparing for this way back earlier in the year, expecting to be playing the finals this tournament in July, and it's been obviously postponed until now, but I think everyone will be very happy to be able to play in front of people, have so much support here, and then a fantastic event put on by Basketball New Zealand and Canterbury Basketball. It was just a bit of a round of applause. You can see Coach Corbin was going to take the trophy away. I think it was just a joke though, and going to pose for their photo there, getting some last-minute instructions about what to look at and where to look.
Ladies and gentlemen, your A-on under-17 girls champions, Waikato.
Yeah, nice round of applause there for the
While they're taking the photo, we're going to call up A-on under-17 girls tournament team and MVP. If you hear your name, please come forward nice and quickly. From North Harbour, Florence Dell. From Taranaki, Gemma Walsh. From Hutt Valley, Janina Bullock. From Waikato, Alana Palawai. From Tauranga, Malika Samia. From Hutt Valley, Stani Foley. From Waikato, Breezy Shula. From Hutt Valley, Tia Jalai Rikuwira. And last but not least, MVP, Jazili Waihi.
So that's the 2020 Aon Under-17 National Championship Tournament team, and you heard the tournament MVP, Jazili Waihi from Waikato. Fantastic effort by all of those, the 10 players named. And we just got to obviously apologise. The last minute changes to where the game was being played, and then obviously where the photos will be taken makes it not the greatest viewing experience for those of you at home when you sort of side on to the action. So the tournament team just about to pose for their commemorative photo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're leaving a photo over to the boys' side. They're helping out with the medals tonight. We're lucky to have Mick Down, the coach of the Canterbury Rams. Looking standing in the shirt front. There's a force in the showdown. Anybody from me in the showdown? Now we're going to go through the same process, third place first. So in the Aon Under-17 Nationals, third place. Come forward, please, Waitaha West.
So Waitaha West, the 2019 champions, still medal here in 2020 if they lost to eventual champions Waikato in the playoffs. And it's Mick Downer, head coach of the Wheeler Motor Company Canterbury Rams. As you heard Conor O'Fee from Basketball New Zealand saying, did a fantastic job at the Sal's NBL Showdown earlier in the year. Obviously, Akiva McBurney Griffin knew him quite well from that as well. He played for the Otago Nuggets, the eventual champions in the team. You see each of the players receiving their Aon Under-20, 2020 Aon Under-17's National Championship third place medals. And I think we'll turn around. No, they're heading over to take their commemorative photo over there. And there's head coach Sean Nance, who will get a bonus couple of medals that he can take home, put in the trophy cabinet as well. Nice wave to those of you watching at home, supporting Waitakere West. So as usual, they're getting some last minute instructions on how to set up for the photo. You can see the stadium here. There's not too many people on that side, but the bulk of the people have still stayed here. I'd say we're about 50 to 60% full from those that were watching, actually probably more than that, watching the boys grand final here, have decided to stick around, see who gets picked for tournament team, tournament MVP, and obviously support the teams first, second, third, both genders of the Aon Under-17 national champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place bronze medalist. Give us a hand, Waitaha, please.
Second place, I'd imagine we're going to get a pretty good round of applause for the Waitaha Canterbury team. Put up a valiant effort.
Tonight's runners-up, the Aon U17 Nationals Boys Tournament. Everybody please put a big hand together for the local boys, Waitaha Canterbury.
So we can see the Waitaha Canterbury team. There's Hunter Adam, who's searching around for a camera where I'm meant to go. So he's just wandering off. This is one of the hardest things to do. You've done pretty well in a competition. You are getting a medal, but it's not the one that you really, really wanted. You're hoping that you're going to win that final game, and they put up a tremendous effort against a fantastic Waikato team. No shame in coming second, I think, for this team. It's Ryan Pringle, last player to get one, Kurt Mapanya, and then head coach Liam Connolly. Manager Jill Pringle, and then assistant coach Adam Morgan. So 2020 Aon Under-17 National Championship runner-up team on the boys' side, Canterbury, with the Waitaha Canterbury team. Just take this quick pause in the action here. Acknowledge our tournament naming rights sponsor Aon, broadcast partners at NTEC, and then obviously the hosts of this tournament, Canterbury Basketball, along with Basketball New Zealand. For more information on the Aon Under-17 Nationals and the Aon Under-15 Nationals, you can always visit the BBNZ website, which is very simply www.nz.basketball. And you can also follow their social media channels, so Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of it is at Basketball NZ. It's a good round of applause there for the second place teams. And I think we're going to get a pretty loud one for the winning team.
Aon Under-17 National Champions for 2020, Waikato.
And we see De Young, looks like he's going to have the captain's honours of giving a quick speech, as I can see him holding his phone, which has probably got it written down there. Or it's Dobson. No.
Kia kini tia te no ki tāwiri wa tapu o mātua tīpina, whai marire ki aia. Kia rātou kua hoka atu ki ngā rangi tūnama, e koe te hau kērena, e urunga te taka te moina te whakarangi. Kia tātou katoa koe ui mai nei, tēnā rā tātou kua.
So it was actually Te Tuhi Lewis speaking there on behalf of the Waikato team. And now it's Junior De Young. So great speech there, well, great speeches there from Te Tuhi Lewis and Junior De Young. And we've just about reached the end of the programming for a very long, or I won't say very long, but an incredibly filled 3 days of action here. Canterbury basketball hosting the under-17, the 2020 Aon under-17 Nationals, Cal Stadium and Bishopdale YMCA, so 2 courts going. And I know Waikato was hosting the under-15 Nationals across 3 different venues as well, so not easy in a world still dealing with COVID. But I think from all accounts, all the teams involved across both sets of tournaments have really enjoyed it. So just make sure if you are making any posts there, please use the hashtag AONNATS, AONNATS. And I'm sure we'll have a nice round of applause for the Waikato boys team who have gone undefeated, just like their girls team did in the 2020 Aon Under-17 National Championship. Very well-deserved first-place team. And I think we're going to see quite a few of these players years to come in the Sal's NBL or perhaps in the Australian NBL as well. Actually, I misspoke. The Aon Under-15s actually took place across 4 different venues. So St John's College, Cambridge High School, Hamilton Boys High School and the Peak. So theirs was even tougher logistically than ours was. So we'll see the 10 boys named in the tournament team.
From Waikato, Casey Marfor. And last but not least, an MVP Caslow Evans Jr.
So pretty well deserved.
Ladies and gentlemen, your boys U17 Nationals tournament team and MVP.
Yeah, so Caslow Evans Jr., no surprises there. You saw how important he was to the team.
That wraps up our award ceremony. Thank you very much to everybody, players, thank you, and parents for getting you here all the way to Christchurch. Go well, enjoy the rest of the year, and hopefully watch some Sal's NBL points action coming up later in the year. Thank you very much. Safe travels home.
All right, that's about going to wrap us up for the broadcasting here. Obviously finished, I don't know, around 30 to 40 minutes later than we expected with the late change of court. So thank you everyone for sticking with us. Hope you've had a great time watching the live streams here. We've had 6 games, I think, broadcast throughout the whole day. So very big thanks to NTEC for doing that. Naming rights sponsors, Aon, and then Basketball New Zealand and Canterbury Basketball. So thank you everyone. We're wrapping up. Congratulations once again to Waikato taking out both the boys and the girls in the 2020 Aon Under-17 National Championship. James Lisserman, Terry Brunel signing off for the last time tonight over Labour weekend.